new Monica Lewinsky interview airs in England.
It's been a humiliating, violating, frightening experience.
But did anyone care? Plus, what women everywhere want to know. Where'd she get that lipstick?
Monica, Monica.
What no one's shown you about the mystery of the missing heiress and two teenage girls.
There she is.
Step by step, clue by clue.
We've set out to retrace the missing trio's last few days before they vanished.
Timeline of the search for the missing tourists.
When Princess Diana stepped foot into the Mercedes-Benz, engineers say she made a critical decision that could have meant the difference between life or death.
What if she had been wearing a seatbelt? Amazing computer animation takes you back to the very moment Diana was killed. Plus, supermodel mother-to-be Cindy Crawford is starting to show.
It's been quite humbling, but I like it.
Inside Edition with Deborah Norville.
Hi, everybody, and thanks for joining us. Monica's gone international. One day after Barbara, Monica Lewinsky sat down for tea and crumpets with a British interviewer, and the results were surprising. Stacey Sweet on Monica's British invasion.
Can you go try and find him?
Monica Lewinsky wanted to be left alone as she landed in New York en route to London. It's the day after her British TV debut, which, unlike the Barbara Walters interview, contained no tears.
It's been a humiliating, violating, frightening experience. Not only for me, but for all those close to me as well.
Monica did reveal something else that she has in common with First Lady Hillary Clinton, aside from loving the president.
You think that there's a right-wing conspiracy, and I think I've definitely been used as a pawn.
But unlike the blockbuster ratings win here in America, the Monica interview finished in a paltry 4th place in England, taking a backseat to 2 TV dramas and a science program.
I think she's a liar, basically. I do have a bit of sympathy for her now. I think she came across as slightly genuine in some parts, but to go to the points where she committed suicide, so we've thought about committing suicide, I think was over the top.
She chose Andrew Morton precisely because he'd written the Princess Diana book. So she's modeled herself on how Diana presented herself as a victim.
Brits are now bracing for Monica's book tour. She'll cross the Atlantic this weekend and visit 19 bookstores, kicking off the tour at Harrods. Here at home, after only one day, sales of Monica's story are hotter than her G-strings.
You and Bill Clinton exchanged gifts.
Monica's story isn't the only book that's flying off store shelves. Walt Whitman's classic Leaves of Grass, which Barbara Walters held up for millions to see, is making its mark in cyberspace. So many buyers requested it from Amazon.com that a major reorder was placed.
Tons of people have come in and commented on her makeup, said that it looked beautiful. And
speaking of reorders, ABC got more calls about Monica's makeup than anything she said. And we know what turned her from ditzy to downright dazzling. Club Monaco's bronze eyeshadow, glazed lipstick, and brace yourselves, nude lip liner for what gave Monica her polished but understated look.
If you play down the eyes and play down all the other features and really focus on the lips, I think it's such a just a gangbuster look. I mean, everybody wants to look like that.
On The View, which made a tongue-in-cheek offer to have Monica try out as a co-host, the fun continued as Meredith Vieira tried out Monica's look.
Monica, Monica.
As for Monica's future, this advice from her book collaborator. Andrew Morton calls the ex-intern, quote, classic Boston, and he thinks she should settle there. It's now been over 2 weeks since a California mom disappeared with 2 girls near Yosemite National Forest. Steve Noble now with a step-by-step investigation on the mystery of the missing sightseers.
It was an incredible vacation that has turned into a baffling mystery.
We want to find them.
That's because amid Yosemite's beauty and serenity, something ugly has happened.
We've been told to look for a car.
Near here, 17 days ago, Carol Sund, her daughter Julianne, and family friend Silvina Peloso simply vanished.
We wanted to understand how a sightseeing trip to this national park could take such an ominous turn. So we've set out to retrace the missing trio's last few days before they vanished.
Their journey started 320 miles from here in Eureka, California, at the home of Jens and Carol Sund. She is an heir of a California family who owns shopping centers across the country. As a toddler, her daughter Julie befriended Silvina on a trip to Argentina. They renewed that friendship 3 months ago when Silvina came to Eureka as an exchange student. They wanted to impress the visitor with the best America had to offer.
It was mainly for Silvina.
So on Friday, February 12th, the trio left their home in Eureka and flew to San Francisco.
And then at the airport, they rented a car just like this one, a bright red 1999 Pontiac Grand Prix.
From there, they headed to Stockton, California and the University of the Pacific. That's where Julie participated in this cheerleading competition.
There she is right there.
This is the last known video taken of Julie, and we showed it to her father.
I took him to their first practice.
So is that tough to see?
Yeah, but I mean, I remember her. You should have seen her. Piano player, violinist. Yeah, it's tough.
The next day, Saturday, February 13th, the trio spent much of the day on the road, traveling south to Merced, California, where they checked into this hotel. And then on Sunday, the 14th, they packed the Pontiac and headed to Yosemite, checking into the Cedar Lodge Motel just outside the park. Monday, the 15th, they toured the park and that night rented some videos back at the motel. It was also the last time Jens spoke to his wife.
What did she tell you when you spoke to her that night?
She told me that they had already been to Yosemite. They're having a good time.
And they might go back?
They would go back.
But their trail on Tuesday morning gets cold.
We have a credible sighting of Carol and Silvina.
Throughout the day, there were various sightings of the trio on a hiking trail, at this post office, and at this ice skating rink. And that evening, witnesses say they asked about rooms at this lodge.
They had stopped here in a red car.
But that's when the story starts to get strange. That was the same night that they were supposed to meet Jens at the San Francisco airport. But that rendezvous never happened, and the next day, Jens alerted authorities. Then Friday, the 19th, on this street corner, more than 60 miles from Yosemite, a startling clue.
The wallet changed everything, and that was found right here in Modesto.
Carol Sund's wallet was completely intact, and the credit cards had not been used since her last sighting.
Your guess is as good as ours as to exactly how that wallet showed up here in Modesto.
The next day, family members set up a command post in town and canvassed the area. And volunteers searched the park, including areas near these treacherous roads. And that rough terrain makes an accident seem likely.
Obviously, the car could have run off the road and run into a ravine.
But that, of course, doesn't explain how Carol's wallet ended up on that street corner. In fact, the FBI says it is investigating the possibility of foul play.
Sure, there's a possibility they were kidnapped.
This is Carol and I fairly recently.
And like most disappearance cases, family members face scrutiny.
How do you feel about that?
I have no problem with it whatsoever, and I've told the FBI that from the very beginning. Haven't retained any counsel. I've asked them to search us, me, any friends.
And if you've seen this red Grand Prix California license plate 4BMV025, contact the FBI at 800-435-7883.
This is when they first met, about 12 months old to 18 months old.
In the meantime, Jens Sund waits for some kind of news about his family because he says knowing something is better than knowing nothing at all.
We just want to get him back.
Silvina's parents have arrived from Argentina, and they're closely involved in the search. And there is a reward of $250,000 for the safe return of the missing women.
Still to come on Inside Edition. After losing one of her beautiful sons to a deadly disease that kills only little boys, this mom's on a mission.
We have definitely some advice to give.
She says all new mothers should know what saved her sons. At that fatal moment, what if Princess Diana had been wearing a seatbelt? Amazing computer animation takes you back in time.
She strikes her chest on the back of the seat, approximately right here.
Inside Edition with Deborah Norville will be right back.
News Channel 8 wants to take your school by storm. Announcing the Storm Team Tour 99, starring meteorologist John McLaughlin, Mike Lozano, Jason Parkin, and Brian Carrick. It's a thunderous multimedia weather show powered by ABI Systems, featuring demonstrations, experiments, and more. Plus, you'll get a free souvenir courtesy of your Central Iowa Taco John's. Just send us a letter or email us telling us about your school's interest in weather. News Channel 8 Storm Team Tour 99. It'll blow you away.
Wrestling with credit card debt isn't easy. A big bill can set you back. Losing your job can put you down. Being left alone can knock you out. Who can help you out-wrestle high credit card debt?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of Des Moines. Our free confidential service has come to the aid of over 20,000 Iowans. And we can help you wrestle with your financial problems. When you think you can't win, give us a call. Is that all you got?
Call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
News Channel 8 is the leader in special reports. Cynthia Fodor took you behind the scenes of the Miss USA pageant in Branson.
I felt so good about it.
Brian Paulson showed you how to beat crime and become a better eyewitness. Steve Carlin covered the Daytona 500. Todd Magel gave you a sneak peek at the Chicago Auto Show. Cynthia Fodor found out if your child's school cafeteria was safe behind kitchen doors. Jeanette Treppeter took you backstage at the Grammys.
Hello, Des Moines.
And Jeff Greenwood investigated bad landlords. The best special reports. Another reason News Channel 8 is Iowa's news leader. When severe weather threatens in the middle of the night, while you're sleeping, a weather radio gives you and your family critical early warning. That's why News Channel 8 and Radio Shack are teaming up to give you an Operation Weather Safe $10 off coupon toward the purchase of an NOAA weather radio. Just send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Weather Radio, care of KCCI, 888 9th Street, Des Moines 50309. Operation Weather Safe, Weather Radios. Another way News Channel 8 keeps you ahead of the storm.
Imagine having a life-threatening disorder that could be successfully treated, but the potential cure is being thrown away. That's what faced the LaRue family, whose story we first told you about 3 years ago. Stacey Galandi reports on one family's quest to make a simple cure available nationwide.
It's amazing. The boys, how far they've come, what they've gone through, how much their bodies have been through, and that they're here and they're normal and healthy and doing well and survived. It's an answer to prayer.
And especially Blake, because he almost died so many times. And he was in the hospital for, gosh, almost a whole year. And to see him now, he's perfect.
Perfectly normal, healthy children taking part in everyday activities, something most families take for granted. Only a short time ago, this seemed like an impossible dream for Teresa and Scott LaRue. Their nightmare began in June of 1995 with the sudden and mysterious death of their toddler son, Lane.
At the age of 13 months, we were going on vacation, and he came down with a fever. It was about 2 weeks to the time of his death. It was very fast.
Doctors told the LaRues Lane had died of mononucleosis, but that the underlying cause might be a rare genetic disorder called XLP, an immune system deficiency found only in boys, and only a few hundred boys worldwide.
They couldn't give us any answers. Even the autopsy report didn't have anything specific.
Still, doctors wanted the LaRues to bring their other 3 boys in for testing. The news was mixed. Oldest son Aaron was fine, but the immune systems of their youngest boys, Blake and Garrett, were not functioning normally. Doctors recommended life-threatening chemotherapy and bone marrow transplants for both boys. But was it really XLP?
I didn't know for sure that he had the XLP, and to put him through the chemo and the transplant and, almost dying.
Teresa and Scott, a Los Angeles Fire Department paramedic, faced one tough choice after another. Should they gamble and accept the possible diagnosis of XLP for their seemingly healthy boys? Haunted by the memory of Lane and his tragically short life, they did accept the diagnosis. Then they had to find a bone marrow match for each of their boys. The odds were astronomical. There had to be a better way.
We had heard about this new treatment with transplants using cord blood, so we wanted all the information on that.
Scientists had discovered that blood from an umbilical cord could be used in place of bone marrow. Harvesting such blood was brand new in the fall of 1995. Their hospital, UCLA, had never even performed a cord blood transplant. but there seem to be important advantages.
Because the cells are naive and they have not lived in somebody else's system yet, they are more adaptable to another environment.
The LaRues liked what they heard about the new procedure and felt it would be the best hope for keeping Blake and Garrett alive. Finally, the first match was found for tiny 2-year-old Blake. The initial transplant was successful, but many complications followed. Blake was in the hospital for most of 1996, many times near death. He even had to undergo a second round of debilitating chemotherapy. In spite of Blake's setbacks, the LaRues went ahead with Garrett's transplant in January of 1997 when a cord blood match was found for him.
The hard thing, I think, with Garrett was Blake still needed a lot of care, and that was hard. That was hard leaving him and being there for Garrett.
Fortunately, Garrett bounced back much more quickly than Blake, and now, 3 years since the first transplant, there are only a few hurdles left to clear.
They're doing very well. The one last test that they need to pass is actually getting mono, which we know that they'll get at some point.
And today, because of a recent medical discovery, Scott is finally at peace with all their difficult decisions. The gene that causes XLP has been isolated, and recent tests have proved their boys did have the extremely rare disorder.
That was scary for Scott, so we learned 100% that it was that.
The LaRues have become active in raising awareness for the various forms of blood donation, but their mission in life is to make cord blood donation something every pregnant woman wants to do.
It's a lifesaver, either the trash or saving somebody's life. It is a no-brainer.
That little couple tablespoons of fluid can really change a person's life and give them a life.
If you're pregnant and would like information about umbilical cord blood donation, you can call the Cord Blood Donor Foundation. Their number is 1-650-635-1456.
Still ahead on Inside Edition. Princess Diana's last ride ended in tragedy. Now, computer animation reveals how Diana's life might have been spared.
When Princess Diana stepped foot into the Mercedes-Benz, engineers say she made a critical decision.
Production assistance for Inside Edition provided by...
Check out Meineke and get 50% off lifetime brake pads and shoes.
At Meineke, you won't pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
I guarantee it. Stay tuned. There's much more Inside Edition to come.
News Channel 8's live Super Doppler is the only live TV radar tracking severe weather in central Iowa. It's another reason News Channel 8 is Iowa's weather leader.
Last year, Project Main Street helped create a garden for physically challenged individuals in Lemonis, rebuild a bell tower in Maxburg, renovate a turn-of-the-century fire station in Earlham, and build a softball field in Guthrie Center. What can Project Main Street 1999 do for you? Hi, I'm meteorologist Jason Parkin, inviting your town to compete for one of 5 $1,500 grants courtesy of News Channel 8 and Casey's. Write to News Channel 8 for entry forms and return them by April 1st. Let's hear your creative ideas, and we'll do it together with Project Main Street.
You could buy this sleek designer jacket at a pricey department store for around $200. Or take that same amount to Steinmart and buy the exact same jacket. Plus this linen sport coat for him. Plus this dazzling necklace. Which ultimately leaves you both looking pretty smart. Don't miss the March main event at Steinmart. You'll save 30 to 40% on a variety of merchandise throughout the store and have money left for this unique hammer tool.
Oh!
Sorry.
This is it, Carpetbax's biggest sale of the year. Hundreds of carpets, thousands of floors at our biggest discount. Berbers, plushes, textures, and incredible savings. Vinyl, wood, laminate floors on sale. Area rugs and ceramic tile at giveaway prices. Plus savings on top of savings with up to 2 years free financing or 10% off for cash. It's Carpetbax's biggest sale of the year. Our best prices plus savings on top of savings. Through Saturday, don't miss it.
Life is a journey, a drive through Main Street America, a cruise down the interstate. And around every turn, there's Chevrolet. Right now, during Chevrolet's Highway 99, you'll find APR financing as low as 0.9% or cash back up to $1,500. So don't just sit there, hit the highway. Chevrolet's Highway 99. Going on now for a limited time at your local Chevrolet dealer.
A computer animation company has been researching the crash that killed Princess Diana, and they have developed a startling theory based on their findings. April Wilson takes you inside the limo on Diana's last ride.
You are looking at a new state-of-the-art computer recreation of the crash that killed Princess Diana, and it may offer new evidence of what could have saved the princess's life.
When Princess Diana stepped foot into the Mercedes-Benz, engineers say she made a critical decision that could have meant the difference between life or death.
The tragic mistake is not wearing the safety belt in the back seat.
Adrian Senier is the Vice President of Engineering Animation, Inc. in Ames, Iowa. In the past, they recreated the Oklahoma City bombing. Now they have turned their expertise to the Diana crash for a TV special, building two recreations, one with a seatbelt and one without.
To get the information, we actually had to send an engineer to the crash site to take the measurements, take the pictures, give us a good sense for what happened there that night.
They also built a 3D image of Diana's car by inputting measurements of a similar Mercedes into the computer. When it was all put together, the results are incredibly realistic. Without her seatbelt, when the car hit the pillar at 70 miles an hour, Diana was tossed around like a rag doll. Dan Kruger, the animation senior project manager, showed us exactly what killed Diana.
She strikes her chest on the back of the seat, approximately right here.
Now let's see the accident with a seatbelt.
It's our opinion that Diana, wearing a seatbelt, survives this crash. Maybe she has injuries, but she survives the crash, and that changes a piece of history.
There are obviously a lot of factors that led to Diana's death, but it's important to note the one survivor, bodyguard Trevor Reese-Jones, was wearing his seatbelt. And now this new computer evidence seems to prove that if Diana had also clicked in, she would probably be here today.
The simplest device that's available to everyone in an automobile could have made all the difference on that night.
And here's a sobering thought. If all passengers wore seatbelts, over 20,000 lives would have been saved in 1997 alone here in the United States. Coming up, Hollywood turns out for the granddaddy of charitable events, and we're there right after this. On today's Inside Track, on this day 17 years ago, which samurai comedian lost a duel with drugs? The answer in a moment.
Production assistance for Inside Edition provided by
Philly cheesesteak from a toaster? Only with new Toaster Breaks milk. Hot, crispy grilled sandwiches with real cheese, right from your toaster. Get new Toaster Breaks milk.
Stay tuned. There's much more Inside Edition to come.
Hey, buddy. Yeah. How come you're always raking it in? Secret to my success is keeping a clean cab and telling people to dial 10-10-220. What? Yeah. All calls up to 20 minutes are only 99 cents all day, every day. 99 cents? I find more than that in the seats. Well, what if I talk over 20 minutes? Just 10 cents for each extra minute. Do you mind if I tell people about this 10-10-220? Go get him, Tiger. Yeah. Rookies.
Dial 10-10-220.
I don't just color my hair. I revitalize it with new Excellence Cream from L'Oreal, the non-drip color cream with a ceramide and protein formula for rich living color. And does it ever cover gray? Not that I ever had any. New Excellence Cream from L'Oreal.
You're not taking one of those laxatives. It's got stimulants that may cause cramping. Says who? Says on the label. Phillips is the only one that doesn't, and nothing's better.
She never takes a vacation.
Phillips, effective relief without harsh stimulants.
From the Pond's Institute, it's simply amazing. Introducing Cleansing and Makeup Remover Towelettes. So revolutionary, a dirt-loving fiber gently cleans dirt and removes even waterproof makeup in one simple step.
Wow.
Pond's Cleansing and Makeup Remover Towelettes.
Times change. We change. But for over 30 years, women have made Dove the #1 beauty bar. Dove has 1/4 moisturizing lotion to leave skin softer than soap ever could.
So who was the samurai comedian who lost a duel with drugs? On this day in 1982, comedian John Belushi died in a Hollywood hotel room from an overdose of cocaine and heroin. He was 33. Belushi first rocketed to fame as a cast member on Saturday Night Live, and then in films where his outrageous brand of comedy and hilarious personality brought laughter to millions. The stars twinkle for one of Hollywood's biggest nights coming up. And don't forget our Inside Tracks contest. You can check it out on our website at www.insideedition.com.
CBS tonight, when one of the Magnificent Seven has to bust his own mom.
You should know better than to steal.
It sparks a family feud.
You skunk.
An all-new Mag 7. Then, Don and Cheech bring in a snitch.
You think you could push me around?
Search for a missing politician.
The governor of California?
And help out a call girl.
You dropped your soap. Hi there.
Plus, Yasmin has a major misunderstanding.
For two guys who aren't gay, you certainly have a very close relationship.
See ya. All new Nash, CBS tonight.
You are go for a pizza delivery.
There's a better way to deliver oven-fresh pizza. The Domino's Heat Wave, the bag that works like a portable oven for the best-tasting Domino's ever. Domino's delivering 1 million smiles a day. Get any large pizza with up to 3 of your favorite toppings for just $10.99. That's right, any large to 3 toppings, $10.99. Just $10.99. Call Domino's now.
Next Inside Edition, a car crash kills 5 high school girls.
There's 5 empty chairs now.
But the 5 friends left a stunning message behind.
Serious? Yes, it's all true.
See what they wanted other teens to know.
Why would you jeopardize ones you love?
Chilling last words to the camera. Plus, see what happens to Monica Lewinsky as her London tour begins. Go inside the headlines with Deborah Norville. Watch the next Inside Edition.
Finally today, comedian Danny Thomas has been gone a long time, but the children's hospital he championed continues to benefit from his patronage, particularly in Hollywood. Stacey Sweet on a star-studded evening for a good cause.
Last night in Beverly Hills, it was the 19th annual benefit gala for St. Jude's Hospital. And the turnout was A-list and more. We caught up with a very pregnant Cindy Crawford.
I've been involved with childhood cancers since my brother died of leukemia.
And host Marlo Thomas is making room for Daddy's favorite charity. She attended with husband Phil Donahue and Daisy Fuentes, who summed up the evening's good feelings.
I've learned that life is ultimately about love and that you should be giving as much of it as you can.
And that's Inside Edition for today. I'm Deborah Norville. Thanks for watching. Hope you'll join us here again next time.